Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Nagarkot, Nepal. Today I'm again having Iskandar on. Iskandar is our English language educator who is going to work me through some of the things I said online, some of the ways some people responded, maybe how I'm not using definitions of certain words properly because, as I've said before, I am learning, you are learning. The experts come in and they tell me where I went wrong, etc. Okay, so Iskandar, again, just remind everybody who you are before we get into everything.
Okay, hi, my name is Iskandar. I am an English teacher with a master's in TESOL and a strong interest in social linguistics, and hopefully we'll get through this unscathed. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, on social media, you will never get through anything unscathed. Never. Okay, so Iskandar,
All right.
first word I want to ask you, what is the definition of the word property and what definition, what dictionary are you using?
Hmm. Well, usually I would use Merriam-Webster, but for this one, I'm using the Oxford Dictionary just because it's easier. Now, according to the Oxford Dictionary, property is a thing or things belonging to somebody or collectively possessions. Yeah, that's basically what property is, someone's belongings.
Okay, so obviously property is not, a human being can't be property.
Well, it depends on the era that you live in, you being from where you are. um, but yeah, I mean the definition has shifted and changed, but now in today's social linguistic context, yes, we should not um consider people property, hopefully.
Yeah, okay, so because let me give you an example I used as I am all for that human beings are not property because all this because it becomes very sensitive when you use slavery
Yep.
and also marriage.
Yes.
Okay, because in marriage, when you say she's her husband's property, it becomes a big issue.
Yes, it is a big issue now, especially nowadays in the feminist era. Yep.
Exactly. But now, my thing is, as far as I'm concerned, my husband is my property.
Hmm.
And why I say that is because, as far as I'm concerned, his laughter, his charm, his body, his time, his affection, his love, that is mine.
Okay.
I feel in a way I'm kind of making him my property because I don't want him to be going out and dishing out all those things to some other woman.
Hmm.
So I feel the way I'm using it when, like with my husband, I would say I'm kind of saying he is my property. And then on top of that, we have a marriage certificate and it's signed there in that contract.
Mm-hmm.
Not, again, it's semantics. It doesn't say he's my property, but it's kind of saying that he is.
Hmm. I see. Okay. So what would you like to clarify here? Like, in the sense of belonging. Yes, the way you defined it is that he could be considered property.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So what the issue here is, right now we're talking about property being things. So in a lot of people's imagination, in a lot of people's thoughts, the way we're thinking in the current times, in the current zeitgeist, is that prop you can't call a human being a thing. So that's why it's actually the same as pets. For some reason, a lot of my friends and a lot of people, young people nowadays, they don't think of pets as their property. They think of them as their children. They call them fur babies. They think of them as their children. So to use the word property on somebody would be to denote that they are non-human or a thing. So that's where that particular stumbling block is in terms of understanding. So yeah, that is the finer semantics of the situation
Yeah.
lah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like, yes, that is what the word means. It's property, it's a thing. But when we are talking, when we know each other, when we're talking like then it just becomes semantics. Like I wouldn't say my cat is a fur baby, or to me it's a pet. And it belongs to me. And then when I'm using the word belongs, it kind of like my property.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just okay. It's semantics. Okay. Then the next word is bequeath.
Okay, to bequeath, to leave property or a thing to a person or another beneficiary by will. Again, this is according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the OED. And yeah, and again, we're talking about a thing. So yes, when you're bequeathing something, it's most often a thing. Sometimes it could be pets or property or whatever, but it's most often a thing. Yep.
Okay. So again, because someone was saying to me, would you bequeath your child to your family, or would you bequeath your husband to your children? Like, meaning that because by doing that you are saying that, let's say my child, you are saying your child is property. And then my thing is, actually, I kind of did bequeath my child when he was a minor, because in my will, I did state that if anything had to happen to me or my husband, my brother has to take him. So in a way, again, semantics, my brother's kind of inheriting him because he is now going to be part of that family and is going to raise him.
Again, the choice of word is very powerful. Again, it's just something that we don't do to people post post the understanding of slavery, post the understanding of property and slavery, and all
Marriage,
these. So marriage,
feminism.
Yeah. So to say that people can be bequeathed would be let me put it this way, it might fly during the time when you and your husband and my parents were married. But not so much now. Not so much now. And I think in the Christian vows as well, the most oft recited one, to have and to hold, yours to have and to hold, till death do you part, in sickness and in health till death do you part. So to have, to belong, it is. But yeah, then again, these vows are made during a time when also people do tend to skew their understanding towards the females being the women in the relationship being in the care of, aka belonging to, the husband.
But it's actually
and before
both
that
ways. But it goes both ways because both have to say it. Because like I would have to say, and he would have to say it back to me.
Yep, that is true. So it does go both ways. And yeah, if you look at it that way, you belong to each other. It's, I think, yeah, I think there would be a slight, a better understanding. But to turn it into a full possessive, it
Yeah,
does paint it in a different light.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that is my take
Mm.
on the current the social linguistic climate right now. Because again, in social linguistics, things that are said years ago, things that are believed years ago would be perfectly fine, but now it would not be because of the understanding or even the meanings of the words being
Mm-hmm,
changed.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because for me it's like this. If you ask me a direct question, like if you directly ask me, is your husband your property? I would say yes.
Yep.
And because
Mm-hmm.
that is my relationship with him. He knows. If I
Mm.
could stamp my name on his forehead, I would stamp it there. So everybody must
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Hands off. Same, if someone had to directly ask me, would you bequeath your child? To me, it's not like you're asking me, is your child an object? No, to me, it's just, would you give your child over to somebody else as inheritance? And to me, I have no problem with that kind of language, because to me, it's just like
Mm.
taking him, giving him to my brother, because I'm not any,
Yep.
yeah. So it's kind of right, it's kind of wrong.
Yeah, yeah, and it is just a problem of how you understand the word bequeath.
Yes, and also I think how you're asking me. You're not,
Mm,
if you
mm,
had to say, do you think your child is a thing? Then I would say
mm,
no. But if you ask me, yeah, but would you bequeath your child? To me, it's like you are using the wrong word. But
mm.
if I look at that word, it just means giving him over to somebody else in the event that I die. Okay, right. Last
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
Sorry, you want to say anything more?
Yeah, I was just looking up further the legal use of the word bequeath, and yes,
Mm-hmm.
to make a bequest is to leave written instructions, typically in a will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always regarding assets.
Right.
There's never, it's always
But again,
regarding
my child
assets.
could
So
be my
it's
asset.
never, yeah.
I could view my child as an asset because maybe my child is insured for $10 million. That's an asset,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
People kill each other
Um,
for insurance money. I mean, they kill other people. Yeah. So
mhm.
again, it's semantics.
Yeah. But again, semantics are important because the reason why we have whatever rules we have in English is so that there would be less misunderstanding.
Yes. Yeah.
And like right now, this is the classic situation where when people understand different words as different things, it
Mm-hmm.
creates the conflict, the miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's so I'm coming in totally unbiased. You are my friend, of course, but I'm coming in totally unbiased so that
Yeah, I know.
everybody can get, everybody
Yeah.
can
No, I
get the
understand. Yeah, I
most
understand.
out of the
But that's what I'm saying.
conversation.
That's what I'm saying. If you are, how can I say? It's a kind of a, it's like when you're talking, I don't know, well, for me, it's like this, because I know
Mm,
who I
mm,
am. So when you ask
yeah,
me directly,
yeah.
I'm going to look at it as, let's say, example, bequeath. I'm going to look at it, the dictionary definition, but then I'm also going to look at it, but what is my relationship with my child?
Mm,
Which I do. I see
mm,
my child as an asset. I do see my child as my most prized possession. I even use that
mm,
word possession because of everything that I have that belongs to me. Because again,
yeah.
possession is to belong, is a
Mm,
belonging.
mm-hmm,
With
mm,
my house, car, everything doesn't matter. Money in the bank, that is not prized to me, my most prized possession. So because you're asking me specifically, we're not talking in general. You're
yeah.
asking me, like if you say, is your cat your fur baby? No, it's my pet.
Yeah.
Maybe your cat
Yep.
is your fur, it's fine. It's not my cat. You can do whatever. But me, you're asking me personally. You're not asking in general.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just how I'm looking at it.
It's just how you roll.
Yeah, that's how I roll. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the other word now, so this one is not personal because this is just now, what is the definition of employment?
Employment, according to the OED, the state of having paid work.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Okay, because the other thing that I find was becoming an issue in a discussion I was having is there is employment, which is you do certain tasks for somebody who is your employer, and the remuneration is money.
Yep.
But you can also be doing these same tasks for somebody, and you don't use the word you don't use the word that this person is your employer, but the remuneration is in kind, like maybe they give you housing, food, clothing, medical care. So there's no money being exchanged. So it's same thing, different, because this one would maybe be called indentured servitude.
Servitude. Yes.
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 But it's just different words, same kind of structure. The big difference would be the remuneration, because one is money and one is your skill. You're giving your time, you're giving your skill, you're giving your body, and in return you're getting other kinds of things, but not money. That'd be fair
payment
to say.
in kind.
Yeah, payment in kind. But overall, it's the same thing. It's just we use employment on the side, and we use an indentured servitude or just servitude on the side.
Yeah, like in that case, I was actually looking up different versions of this for one of my lessons actually regarding Black history in my school. And yeah, I came across this this system of indentured servitude. It's tough, but when someone is working as an indentured servant, usually they would not be employed, they would be indentured. So that there is that special word because they're working off whatever their debt to the person who they owe money to. So yeah, so that's how that's the vocabulary for that kind of arrangement. So if someone were in your employ, then generally understood that it is paid in a salary, whether it's the original term in salt in the Roman legion times, salarium, or in cowrie shells or whatever it is that people use for currency.
Right.
You know? So yeah.
Yeah, because I give you an example. I used to have people who wanted to learn my syllabus, my jazz dance syllabus, but they couldn't afford to pay me. So I would say, okay, then you come work for me. You know, like you teach 2 classes a week and you do the admin work. And in return, for that 3 months, you can attend my classes for free. So for me, that's a kind of a servitude going on there. Yep. Because she can't pay me. I need someone to do this work for me. So I give you the I don't give you money, because if I give you the money, you would just give me the money back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. Same with voluntary work. Like now I'm in Nepal. Yeah. There are many volunteers from Europe working here. They teach English, and in return, the NGOs give them free boarding and free food. So, you know, it's a service, but payment is in kind.
Yeah. Yep. Well, as for the class thing, there is a special word for that actually. It's
What's
called
that?
apprenticeship.
Yeah,
It's an
exactly.
apprenticeship.
Yes, which is still it still falls under indentured servitude.
Yeah. But
Because if you
it's
look
just
at the
it's just a
definition
more
here,
it's just a more descriptive word to have an apprenticeship or an internship. Internships and apprenticeships are the same thing.
yes, because it says here,
Um.
indentured means to bind someone by an indenture as an apprentice or a laborer.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just want to clear this up so that when I speak to people, they don't get lost in the conversation. Because when I'm saying it's like I would say indentured servitude is a kind of an employment. It's just the difference is in one you are receiving money, in the other one there's a different arrangement. And then under employment, you are regulated under the Employment Act, under labor law. When it comes to this indentured servitude,
It's just a personal contract.
yeah, and then you would have to follow my contract.
Yep.
Because I would be saying you work 2 days a week, I'll give you help, But it's
Yeah.
like they say same but different lah.
Yeah. Same
Would you
but
say
different.
it's like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Yep. It would be like that. But again, the semantics are important. I just like to clear that up because
Yes.
with my students as well, I do not accept it if they try to use words they have a shallow understanding of.
Yeah.
Because again, I might understand because I taught them the word, but others who have a native understanding or have a different understanding of the word or a more standard understanding of the word might take it the wrong way. So yeah,
Yes.
that's where we want to be clear about
Clear,
meanings.
right. Okay, so the other part is that video, the short I asked you to watch. Did you watch it?
Okay. No. I've actually watched it a few times already. And
Love is
yeah,
love,
when
sex is
love is
sex.
love thing. Yeah, love is love and sex is sex. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go into a etymological deep dive. Okay, so when we're talking about the word love in English, there is just the word love. Whereas in the language of Aristotle, in the Greek era, the classical Greek era, there's 4 words for love. There is agape, which is the highest form of love. They say the self-sacrificing kind of love. And then there's eros, which is the passionate kind of love. Sexual desire, lust falls under here. Eros. And then philia, friendship, affection. It's actually the word means friendship or brotherly affection. I don't know why now the meaning
Philia
has
is a kind
changed.
of
It's
philia has changed now.
Yeah, philia is kind of like yeah
Now it's a fetish.
predisposition.
Now it's
Fetish, yes, exactly.
fetish, yeah.
I
Yes.
wanted to say predisposition towards certain sexual tropes, but yes, fetish.
Yeah.
Okay, and then storge, which is the familial love. So agape, eros, philia, and storge. So when you're talking about sex is sex and love is love, depends on how you define it. Whereas with sex, there is the biological sense, and the way you phrased it, I believe, was and sex, if done without your consent, is called rape. And totally true, because the act of sex is basically the act of rape is actually sex without consent. That is the meaning there. And yeah, there is actually a strong component of there is an overlap, sorry, when it comes to love and erotic desire or lust, because there are three stages. This is from one psychologist. I forgot what his name is. Let me just check my notes. Where is it? There's stages. Okay, I lost it. Okay, but there are stages. There are stages to love, and what we're talking about here, when you say love, is the feeling of attachment to somebody. Because the first stage, when people say love at first sight, is the stage of lust.
Yes, exactly.
And
yes.
so whenever people say they fell in love at first sight, it just means that they felt lust when they
Right.
first saw somebody. It's rather pleasing to the eye, whatever it is. And then after that, when they start talking, they feel attracted and they feel attraction. But that's still not strong enough to hold the relationship. So they need this third stage, which is attachment, which biologically speaking allows a woman to hold on to the provider, the man, during the gestation period. And
Yes.
you said you can't choose who you love, but you can choose who you have sex with.
No. Yeah. Yes.
Totally, yeah, totally. I totally get it. It is yeah, it is true.
Yeah. Because I mean, I could fall in love with a 12-year-old.
Exactly. But
or
whether you act on it or not,
or my friend. Yeah,
whether
exactly.
you act on it or not.
Yes.
Whether you act on it or not is a different thing.
So that I cannot choose. Like I could fall in love with my friend's husband. I cannot control that. But I can control whether I now want to go and have sex with that 12-year-old child or with my friend's husband. This is
exactly. That is the thing. That's what, makes us the human beings that we are. Our ability to have control over our
lust,
over our
feelings,
our biological impulses. Let's say biological impulses, because again, it's all chemistry happening in the brain. And the initial lust stage might be just okay, like this person. Do you act on it? No. You talk to this person. Do you act on it? No. Do you feel attached to this person? Do you act on it? No. So that is, so that is how, as human beings who are supposed to be the higher beings according to a lot of religions, that is how that is how we prove our humanity, I suppose. But yeah, that is that is the thing. We can form different attachments to everybody, and it's not just about the biology. Yeah.
Okay. And then sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
So then one person commented, I sent you the comment. So
okay,
what issue do you think this person can be having with me, and should they be having an issue with me?
Okay. Again, this is what I love about sociolinguistics, because linguistics is not just linguistics, because we have to consider the social component as well. I'm thinking that this person probably came from a strong religious background, most probably an Abrahamic religion, such as Judaism, Christianity, Islam, because in these religions they equate sex with love.
Wait, which person I'm talking about? This GMAX6503, is that
yeah, that one.
the one that said, so the definition of sex and love is different with a question mark? Wow.
Yep.
Like
Wow,
confused.
yeah,
Wow.
that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the thing. So also you can choose who you love and also choose to have
This person says you
sex with.
can choose who you love, which I say
Yeah.
no, you can't. I
Okay.
say you
Yeah, and
it's
you can choose how you act. Yes. Because the initial biological shot of chemistry in your brain, that is the initial love at first sight, lust kind of feeling. And then whether you choose to act on each of these stages is up to you. The chemistry that happens is different, because I mean, I am attached to somebody, deeply in love, but that doesn't mean that sometimes the big old chemistry thing doesn't light up. And I'm not saying that I'm a cheater,
right.
but but it is totally, people say chemistry, you have chemistry with each other, blah blah blah, and that's and that's totally perfectly valid, because it is a biological response. Whether you act on that biological response is what separates the human from the animal. And
Right.
so far, thank goodness, I haven't been acting upon any impulses. What was I gonna say? uh let's
Yeah.
see.
Look at what the
Yeah,
person's
yeah.
saying. They say there, notice how she framed it though. Slippery person here. So what would be slippery about what I said?
I'm not sure. It was pretty clear what you said. You can't choose who you fall in love with. It was pretty clear.
And then she
Yeah.
says, this person says that, then she throws in rape. Weird. Why would it be weird that
probably
we're talking about choice, consent,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's a little bit, I feel like what they're thinking is, I'm not putting words in their mouth. It is just my take on it. I feel like they feel like this is we're talking about sex and love, and then suddenly a violent act comes in. Well, it is a violent act, but it's not, violent in the sense that there has to be beatings, because I've
Coercion. You can be coerced.
yeah, coercion. Yeah, but I've even had conversations with some of my friends who are married, and
Yes.
sometimes when they don't feel like it,
Yeah,
and
so you
yet
don't consent. Yes, yet it happens.
there was
there
no
is
consent, and
marital
they just
rape. Yeah.
marital rape, and they just lie there taking it when they're not feeling aroused.
Yeah.
That is also a huge problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a form of rape.
So
But that is why, because I put rape in there, because I said you can choose who you can have sex with, which means I'm saying there is consent. So that is why I have to put that in to show that, yes, there are other types. Because I know someone's going to come, yeah, but what about rape? When you get rape. So I have to put it in there to say that, of course, rape is different because you have been forced. There's no consent kind of thing.
Yep. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's my not so spicy take on it. I don't know if it is spicy or not, because that's just common sense, isn't it?
I know, but this is the thing. That's why I have to ask people like you to come and speak, because I feel common sense has died.
Isn't so common anymore.
No, it has died. It's like it has already decomposed. If it's a Buddhist, it probably has reincarnated already. It's just common sense has gone out of the window. Yeah.
All right.
So that's why I have to bring in someone like you, because this is what you do. This is what you teach. This is what you educate people on. I'm a lay person with these things, but I'm a person who wants to bring up thought-provoking. So thanks so much, Iskandar, once again for doing this with me.
Thank you.
We'll see whatever comes up next. And
All right. Thank you very much.
keep well and peace.
All right. Peace to you too. Bye.